Hello, online world. A quick lesson from in-person networking. So if you go to events, if you're in the business world and you constantly run into this challenge, which I do, is I'll be talking to someone and I'll be like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. Like, what do you do? And they'll go into like, oh, it's, structural engineering and do. And like, I'm literally just, yeah. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I learned something this weekend from being at an event, and 2 weeks ago I was at another event. And what's really interesting is you can actually break through that by being super interested in that person. So if you actually say, "Hey, to be honest, what is structural engineering?" And like you'd think that they would be like, "Oh, well, this person's dumb. They should know. Why are they asking me that?" No, what actually happens is they're like, oh my God, someone's actually interested. And then what happens is they go into, someone's interested in me. I like talking about me. I'm delighted to be in this conversation. You learn more. You clear up any misunderstandings you have. You actually become a smarter person because rather than just going, you like actually learn about that person. And then the other thing is I wanted to kind of flip the perspective. So if you're that person and you don't know it, that you're just like, oh yeah, like I do blah, 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 and you think that people are listening to, they're not. And the way to switch that is instead of saying like for example, I used to sell season tickets for the Ottawa Senators, like for an NHL hockey team. So if someone asked me like, oh cool, what do you do? I'd be like, oh yeah, I sell for the Sens, sell season tickets, group suites. They'd be like, So what you should do is be like, how can I actually frame this in a way that is relevant to that person? This is something that Brandon Dawson teaches. It's like whether you're doing an investor pitch or meeting someone or just in any context, tell them, hey, so they say, what do you do? You say, hey, great question. And just so I could translate that into something that's really relevant to you, like, what would you say is maybe the biggest challenge you're facing in your business right now? That would be in a pitch context, or if it's just like in a casual context, like for that example with like what I did with the Ottawa Senators, I could have been like, oh, what do you do? Well, you ever been to like a sports arena, like a sports game, and you had like a really good time? Yeah. Did you go with like your kid or something, or like with friends? Oh yeah, I actually like take my kid. It's like, it means the world to him. Yeah, so like I did that for a sports team where basically you would take someone, let's say it's a dad, they want to take their kid, and you would give them like 21 experiences like that, plus they get extra perks. It's called season ticket ownership. And then like when you go to the games, you see like a box like full of people, like, or maybe you're like at a company event. You ever been to like a company Christmas party and like they're like, oh, I want to do something interesting, so like we would do that too. And you kind of translate it into what people can actually absorb. So as a tip on in-person networking, just to recap, when you're telling someone what you do, translate it in a way that they could absorb it and will actually listen. And when you have no idea what someone's saying and they're like, oh, I do this blah 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 complicated restructural software tech, just be like, oh wow, what is that? To be honest, I don't know. And that's it.